A dream of a tropical land to be opportune with facilities like beaches, swamps, beautiful agricultural outlook, food, nice climate, natural resources, and a blend of cultural traditions. One may sleep beside Sierra Leone and Liberia in order to live in the reality of such a dream, regardless of the fact that these two countries, being West Africans, they share a few similarities but are parted by some differences which make each country very unique. Sierra Leone and Liberia were both established in the 19th century as nations or colonies for black Europeans and Americans, either freed from the slave trade or born free, as well as returnees to the continent from captured slave ships. Immigrants from the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean moved to Liberia and Sierra Leone throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, creating and filling governing structures in both countries. This history makes for a unique mixture of cultures and policies that ultimately resulted in civil wars in the late 20th century. Sierra Leone and Liberia's colonial histories and relationships with Great Britain and the United States, respectively, are important to recognize in approaching the art of this region. The common similarities between Liberia and Sierra Leone is the arts. Liberia and Sierra Leone arts related to prestige, spirituality, and the body in West Africa and the greater Atlantic world. Masquerade. In West Africa, masquerade refers to performance. The masks and textile made of fabrics or vegetal materials are materials forms of performance or spirits who perform for a variety of audiences. Masquerades are performed for political, seasonal, religious, or entertainment occasions and incorporate dance, singing, and musical performance. The Poorer Society, a men's organization found in various regions of Sierra Leone, Guinea, Liberia, and Ivory Coast. Poorer is historically both a political and social organization, structuring communities and administrating judicial matters. Its roles in national politics continues change throughout the 20th century. Its importance in local communities has been addressed by a number of scholars, and various presidents of Liberia joined the organization as well. The Sal of Bale, Bale a Mende word and Sal a Loma word, are often used to discuss the power held by the spirits associated with masquerading. The terms signify the specialized knowledge or medicine gained throughout the spiritual assistance. Marks appear as physical manifestations of the acquisition or manipulation of Sale or Bale. The Sunday, a women's organization in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea. Sunday is the only women's organization to have masquerading traditions performed by women. Girls are initiated into Sunday, becoming adult members of their communities after an educational period in the bush, during which they are instructed in domestic and spiritual duties. Another similarity is migration. Liberia and Sierra Leone are situated on the west coast of Africa. Multiple migrations saw people from the interior of West Africa move towards each nation's coast, resulting in numerous population shifts between the 15th century and today. Before the European arrival, Fulham, Shabro, Timni, and Limba people lived primarily along the coastline, with Mende and Fulani people settling in the 15th century. Both countries had contact with the Atlantic world through European traders beginning by at least the 1460s. The Portuguese nicknames for these two coastline struck. You would hear the Paper Coast for Liberia, and Sierra Leone owes its name to the Portuguese for Lioness Mountains. Both countries were established in the 18th to 19th century as settlements for the liberated descendants of Africans after the abolition of the Atlantic slave trade, some of whom had never set foot on the African continent. Sierra Leone was conceived of as the province of freedom, and Thomas Peters, an African American man from the Nova Scotians, established its capital, Freetown, in 1792. It was declared a colony of Britain in 1807 to 1808. Liberia and Sierra Leone have common borders and interwoven civil war experiences. Rebels from the ongoing Liberia Civil War ignited in 1991 to 2002 Sierra Leone War. Combatants subsequently moved between them with ease. This chapter addresses the following questions: what factors have caused and sustained war in the two countries? Why in 2002 was Liberia still at war? What lessons can be learned from Sierra Leone's peace process? What are the prospects of peace for the two countries? In over 2,500 years, the dense jungle in the area of Sierra Leone allowed the region to remain relatively protected from invaders from empires in West Africa. Traders introduced Sierra Leone to Islam, which occupies a central role in Sierra Leone culture and history. In the 17th century, the British set up a trading post near present-day Freetown. The trader originally involved timber and ivory, but later expanded to enslave people. In 1787, following the American Revolution, Sierra Leone became a destination for black British loyalists from the new United States. After the abolition of the slave trade in 1807, British ships delivered thousands of liberated Africans to Sierra Leone. During the 19th century, the colony gradually expanded inland. Liberia began in the early 19th century as a project of the American Colonization Society (ACS), which believed black people would face better chances for freedom and prosperity in Africa than in the United States. Between 1822 and the outbreak of the American Civil War in 1861, more than 15,000 free and freeborn African Americans, along with 3,198 Afro-Caribbeans, relocated to Liberia, gradually developing an Americo-Liberian identity. These two countries have some of the most gorgeous beaches to tasty seafood and cold beers exploring the Freetown Peninsula and Monrovia in West Africa. Thank you for watching. Please, if you have any comments, place it in the comment section. I know that there are so many similarities between these two West Africa countries, including ethnicity, tribes, and various cultures. If you know of any, please place it down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Give out your views. If you have any content idea, place it down.